to the What's Up News Network, being broadcast from Panama City Beach, Florida, the home of the world's most beautiful beaches. I am Jim Free with Jim Free Realty. Please help me out this morning and click on the red subscribe button just below the picture. In the real estate market, we have 147 condominiums available, 59 of which are Gulf front. Still, inventory very, very low. In the detached single family, we have 140 units available. 18 of those are Gulf front units. In the attached single family units, we have 17 units available. 2 are Gulf front units. Out of some 11,000 Gulf front units, we only have 59 units available on the market, which is less than 1% of the total units on the beach. Because of the low inventory, the prices are up, which is excellent opportunity for sellers. The interest rates are still low, so it's kind of a win-win market for both buyers and sellers right at this time. And we do have a lot of buyers in town. In our local news, a 37-year-old Panama City Beach man shot 2 teenagers while they were on vacation, killing one and injuring the other, according to the Panama City Beach Police Department. The incident happened at about 1:30 a.m. Tuesday on the sandy beaches near the shores of Panama condominium on Thomas Drive. Witnesses staying at the condominium resort said on Tuesday they heard the gunshots coming from the beach. Panama City Beach Police said when officers arrived, they saw a white male fleeing the scene. He said security guards at shores of Panama helped the officers corner the suspect, who was taken into custody without any injuries. The suspect was identified as Christopher Lawrence Cox, age 37, of Panama City Beach, arrested and charged with open count of murder and attempted murder. The 2 victims were stepbrothers from Louisville, Kentucky, both 14 years old. When the police arrived on the scene, one was dead and the other had sustained injuries from apparent gunshot wounds. That teen was taken to Panama City Hospital and was released later. Investigators said the boys were on a family vacation, adding that Cox was also originally from Louisville, Kentucky. They described that fact as coincidence after looking into it further. Investigators said the survivor gave them a description of the shooter that matched Cox, and they had located and arrested him Tuesday. They added that Cox made incriminating statements while he was in police custody. Police have not yet released a motive for the shooting. Another man is dead on Panama City Beach. Panama City Beach police are releasing more details about the death of a man who jumped from a condo balcony Sunday. Police were called to the Sunrise Beach Resort to a report of a dead person. Police said when they arrived, they found Timothy Ackerman, 31 years old, of Panama City Beach. They say the case is still open and under investigation, but the preliminary findings indicating that Ackerman attempted to base jump from the 23rd floor and his parachute failed to open. Police also say they want to remind everyone that it is illegal to trespass and there is no legal place in Florida that allows base jumping. The following report is excellent news for all those concerned about the climate change. Nexstar researchers have discovered a creative way to reduce the greenhouse gas contributions of cows. The answer, they say, lies in seaweed, a widely available product that grows in oceans around the world. Published Wednesday in the journal, one of the researchers found that feeding cows just a small amount of seaweed over 5 months reduced their methane expulsion by an impressive 82%. Studies have shown that cows contribute about 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, which are a significant contributor to global warming and climate change, according to these folks. Cows produce methane gas due to microbes in their stomach. Still, feeding them a small amount of the seaweed, or Asparagopsis taxiformis, appear to counteract some of those methane products or production, the researchers say. We now have sound evidence that seaweed in cattle diet is an effective reducing greenhouse gases, and the efficiency does not diminish over time. Study of the co-author, agricultural scientist, told Guardian News. There is more work to be done, but we are encouraged by these results. We now have a clear answer to the question of whether seaweed supplement can substantially reduce livestock methane emissions and its long-term effectiveness. Previous research determined that the seaweed supplements didn't affect the cow's milk output, while this latest determined that there is no difference in taste of meat from the cows that were fed seaweed. This can also be an excellent opportunity for my producer and director, Billy Mack Richard, and myself, because both of us live on the beautiful Panama City Beach. From time to time, seaweed washes up on our beautiful beach. Billy Mack walks the beach every morning. If he spots seaweed, I could bring the John Deere tractor, hay rake, and baler down, and we could be a large producer of Asparagopsis taxiformis, and that is what the Yankee scientists call seaweed. We could be cleaning the beach and eliminating greenhouse gas, or methane, and Al Gore and AOC would be so proud of us. In the state news, a Florida woman was arrested after police say she posed as a licensed plastic surgeon and botched a man's nose job. According to the Miami Herald, which cites police saying that Jimenez de Rodriguez, 56, was in the middle of performing another procedure Thursday when the police arrested her. Authorities began to investigate Jimenez de Rodriguez last month after receiving a complaint from a former patient who said his nose job had been botched. The alleged victim told NBC Miami that he met Jimenez de Rodriguez through a friend. He had been getting Botox treatments for a few months before asking her about rhinoplasty. The man tells the station that he was unhappy with the initial procedure and was suffering from extreme pain. He alleges that Jimenez de Rodriguez offered to perform a second corrective procedure, but the results were also disappointing. She ruined my life, he said, adding that he paid $2,800 for the surgery. Investigators tell the Herald that Jimenez de Rodriguez isn't licensed to practice medicine in the state of Florida. Jimenez de Rodriguez is being held at the Miami-Dade County Jail on a $5,000 bond. People magazine confirms that she's been charged with practicing medicine without a license and resisting arrest without violence. I guess since Jimenez de Rodriguez identifies as a doctor, she must be a doctor. If a man identifies as a woman, he must be treated as a woman. I wonder how he would feel letting Dr. de Rodriguez do his next subsequent surgery. I've told you several times that I don't think I've ever had original thought. I usually get ideas from someone else. And I stole this story from Mike Huckabee. You know, if you steal ideas from one person, it's called plagiarism. To steal from many, it's called research. This thinking about Mike brings up a very embarrassing moment for me. We had been invited to Mike and Janet Huckabee's home a couple of years ago. Mike and Janet are a great host, and I was having a good time. I had worn a new pair of beige pants and a new sports shirt. Ivanette was talking to Mike, and I was trying to be Mr. Cool since there were so many important people there. I was on the pool deck admiring the beautiful view of the Gulf. I had my plate full of chicken wings and all of a sudden I felt something cool running all over the lower half of my body. I had backed into an infinity pool and suddenly went from being Mr. Cool to just an old man that had an accident, and my new beige pants showed the water. I'll tell you about an uplifting experience. My Aunt Betty Lynn Smith was a godly woman. Bless her little heart, she passed away 2 years ago. For all you Yankee friends, that means she died. 3 years ago, Betty Lynn had sent me a letter about an uplifting experience she had on a trip to Marietta, just north of Atlanta. Her 15-year-old grandson, Jake, agreed to accompany her on the trip. As she was traveling south on I-75, she saw a billboard advertising a Christian bookstore, and she decided to stop and pick up some literature for her Sunday school class. While in the store, she saw a bumper sticker that read, "Honk if you love Jesus." She had her grandson put it on her bumper. It was a Friday afternoon and the traffic was very heavy. She was stopped at a red light with a lot of traffic behind her, and she said she was just lost in thought about the Lord and how good He is. The guy behind her started honking like crazy, and Betty leaned out the window and shouted, "For the love of God." This bumper sticker works. The guy shouted back, "Go, go, go, Jesus Christ, go." She thought, what an exuberant cheerleader he is for Jesus. She leaned out the window, started waving and smiling at all those loving people. There must have been someone back there from Florida, because someone shouted something that sounded like Sunny Beach. She saw another man waving only his middle finger stuck up in the air. She asked Jake what that meant. He said it's probably an Hawaiian good luck sign or something. Well, I never met anyone from Hawaii, so I leaned out the window and gave him the good luck sign right back. For some reason, Jake just burst out laughing. A couple was caught up in the joy in the moment, and they got out of their cars and started walking toward me. I bet they wanted to pray or find out where I attended church, but that is when I noticed that the light had changed. So grinning, I waved at all of my brothers and sisters and drove through the intersection. I noticed that I was the only one that got through before the light changed again, and I felt sad that I had to leave them after all the love they had shared. So I slowed down, leaned out the window, and gave them all the Hawaiian good luck sign one last time as I drove away. I just wanted to share this uplifting experience I had just because I put that bumper sticker on my car. Love, Betty Lynn. Be sure your sins will find you out. My cousin Henry was shopping at a local Walmart, and he noticed an attractive woman waving at him, and she says hello. Henry is somewhat taken aback because he can't place where he knows her from. So finally he says, "Do you know me?" To which she replies, "I think you are the father of one of my kids." Henry is panic-stricken. He knows he has not been unfaithful to his wife, but his mind goes back to his bachelor party, where he got so intoxicated he doesn't know what happened. Henry said, "Oh my gosh, are you the stripper at my bachelor party?" She looks at him in the eyes and calmly says, "No, I am your son's second grade teacher." Sometimes I do some deep thinking. And some of these things are, a clear conscience usually is a sign of a bad memory. And half of the people you know are below average. It's said that the early bird may get the worm, but we know that the second mouse gets the cheese. And I wonder what happens if you get scared to death twice. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. If con is the opposite of pro, is Congress the opposite of progress? Now on the national news. Brad, say it isn't so. Well, here is something strange. The Washington Post retracted its bombshell story that they had published in January that during a phone call, President Trump pressured Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, an employee, to find fraud in the 2020 election and told them they would be a national hero. It was even cited as grounds for his impeachment. Washington Post said they had verified the story from anonymous sources. Naturally, NBC, ABC, CNN, PBS, and USA ran with the story, saying they had confirmed the Trump quote via their anonymous sources. Well, what changed? According to a recording of the conversation was found in the trash folder of a Georgia official's computer. That's what changed. And they found out that the president didn't actually say the things they had attributed to him. So, Brad, why didn't you debunk this story? You had to have known it wasn't true. Please don't tell me you were the anonymous source. Using anonymous sources is a valuable tool that has been given to the media and to law enforcement, but it has certainly been abused. Remember when the FBI was applying for a wiretap? They leaked a false story to the media and then used the newspaper story to bolster their affidavit to the FISA court. I am no stranger to anonymous sources. During my 37 years in law enforcement, I used several anonymous sources. We call them confidential informers. Suppose information is received from an anonymous source or confidential source, you always have to verify it because most of the time it's a lie, an exaggeration, or it's an agenda-driven motive. Motives could be revenge, money, politics, or most anything. Most of the time, an anonymous source doesn't have the courage to give their name because they know they are telling something that's not completely valid. There are a few cases where revealing the source could cause them physical harm, and those are the cases where we should withhold their identity. Always be suspicious when a reporter publishes a story and attributes it to an anonymous source and then tells us he verified it with another anonymous source. Most likely he is that source. Until we meet again, may God bless you, your family, and this great country that we live in.